And now we can move to the first speakers, so to Kranthi Kandula, that will introduce the argumentation related to the imaging platform. So please, Kranthi. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your great introduction, Dario. My name is Kranthi, and in this presentation, we're going to talk about biomedical imaging platform and tools. And more in specific, we're going to talk about XNAT and its core features. Today's agenda, just a second, okay. Yeah, today's agenda, we'll talk about a bit of background about imaging tools and what are the challenges that we face as a medical and preclinical institutions who handle this kind of data. And will introduce a small introduction to XNAT. We'll see the core features and what you can do with XNAT as a user or as an administrator, and what are all the features that XNAT provides for the users. So going to the talking about the bottlenecks, like what are the major problems or bottlenecks in terms of dealing with imaging data for users in our imaging facility. If we think about like imaging facility who works on different imaging modalities like MRI, CT, but like all the data that is coming from different types of instrumentations, we have different study protocols. We have a huge amount of raw data that is coming from all these imaging instrumentations. We have different parametric images. We have depends on each imaging instrumentation. We have different kinds of output that are coming from like either processed images or the instrument that is giving the in different formats. And the major concern is about like how to work with members and collaborators who are coming from different parts of the world or from different geographical location. And we have different types of image processing tools based on different programming languages, and also the tools that are provided by the companies, image instrumentation companies. So to overcome all these challenges, we need a standard tool to handle all this, to save the data and process the data on cloud-based environments, so which could be online, so it can be visited using a browser, or not having a very powerful computer to process the images. We have to overcome these challenges that I explained just now. We have different medical imaging platforms. We have OpenRAM like NORA, OrthoNAC, also XNAT. Like I'll explain like what these medical imaging platforms provide. For example, OpenRAM like is an open source platform designed specifically for managing and analyzing medical image data, particularly in radiology. It provides features for data collection, storage, reporting, including dose monitoring and analysis. Other imaging platforms like NORA and OrthoNAC, like all these platforms provide a great support, and they're like open source, web based. But every platform has its pros and cons, and then we have this XNAT, which is also open source, which is recently acquired by Flywheel. They have worked on this tool for more than like 12 years. And Flywheel is a venture-backed medical image software company focused on management of complex data in clinical and life science research. XNAT have a really active community. The good thing about XNAT is like they come up with updates very frequently. Let's say like once in 3 months, and they quickly fix the bugs if you have any. And one good thing is There'll be the developers of XNAT are really active on the with the community, and we discuss all the problems that we face, and the updates they provide considering user requests is a very good thing that any imaging platform can do. And since we have this kind of great community and a great set of developers, um, the growth of XNAT is really good. And past, like you can see the numbers in in this slide, the number of visitors or number of XNAT application downloads are increasing every day. The introduction of XNAT is let me introduce to the XNAT. So the XNAT stands for Extensible Neuroimaging Archiving Toolkit. So it's an open source imaging informatics platform with many core features. In this presentation, we will explore how to unlock the potential of XNAT, including the comprehensive guide to its core features and extending the XNAT. So let's discuss about the core features overview. XNAT offers a wide range of core features, making it an ideal platform for imaging informatics research. This includes customizable user accounts, secure access control, image and metadata storage and retrieval, user-generated studies, reporting tools, projects and resource tracking. Furthermore, it has a rich set of APIs, simplifying integration of external software. This is a one great advantage with XNAT. Like you can integrate other softwares to work with XNAT and collaborate with XNAT software. So let's talk about what you can do with XNAT as a user and as an admin. So as a user, as a researcher, if you're working on a project, and if you have like various subjects and you do experiments and you take the scans and you have the image data, and once you have the image data in your local machine, you would like to share it with the members of your group or collaborators. So XNAT provides you to create a project, add data that you have collected from various imaging instrumentations. You can view, annotate, and quality control your data. You can explore your data, process it online, and you can share and publish this data to the public. And the people who have right access to these projects, they can download the data and process it the way they want. So what can you do with XNAT as an admin? You can, as an admin, once you have a XNAT installed, you can do everything that a user can do, obviously, and you can have a basic configuration and all the other things any administrator can do on the website. And one good thing is about, like, you can customize the XNAT. That is one advantage of being an administrator of the XNAT. So I'll explain about how from the perspective of user, like how you create the projects, how you define project metadata. You can set the visibility of the project. It could be public, protected, or private. I'll explain in detail about what these visibilities of your project are, and what are all the project roles that you can give to the collaborators or members of the project. You can change the project settings whenever you want. You can initially make it a private project, and once you do your processing, and if you want to make it to available for public, so you can change. There is a option to change project at any point of time. So once you have created a project, we need to add data to our project, right? So we have subjects, we have data coming from like preclinical data or clinical data. So the good thing about XNAT is it has a great support for both clinical and preclinical data. So you add image data to this to the subjects, and you add the resource files which have extra information about about the projects or subjects that you are uploading. To understand better about how the data that you are storing on the project, we need to understand the XNAT data model. So if you see in this slide, you can see a project which you create, and it has subject and subject resources. It has experiments, and under the subject, each subject could be anything like a person or a mice or whatever you're working on, and it has different image sessions, right? And each image session have scans. So each scan have image accessor, and you have all resource files you can save under the scans, image sessions, or subjects. And also you can add project resources. Like this is the overview of like how you save project on XNAT once you create the project. This is the hierarchy of how you're gonna save your data. Once you understand properly how the data is organized in XNAT, um, you have an option to add image data in different ways. We have especially three options that are provided by XNAT, which you can do it from the browser, or like you can use a desktop client, the option number one, which is provided by XNAT. The option number two, which is a compressed uploader, you create your you collect your data locally, you zip it, you select the project that you upload. And if you see, there are like two destinations. One is pre-archive and archive. Let's discuss about what is pre-archive and archive. Pre-archive is a flag to check whether your data is properly organized uh, in the folder before you upload it to a project. So we have this great option to see what we are uploading and check how the data is organized just before it uploads into the XNAT. Even you can change the subject, or like you can change the scan from one subject to another subject. So we have all the options here to change if some data is misorganized, and you can just begin the upload, and it goes through all the it goes through the processing, and it uploads the data as you saved in your local PC. And also there is an option 3, which is a DICOM C-store service class user. This gives an option to connect to the import or receive images from image data from packs. So while uploading, you can anonymize the data. So as we see, like we can upload data from your local files, and using these three options. And we have a fourth option, which is XNAT pick, which is developed by our team. Francesco will be explaining about XNAT pick after me. He'll explain like what are the advantages, and what are all the features that we have to like overcome the problems that we are facing with other uploading methodologies. So after you upload, like let's talk about, you have a project, you created a project, you have the local files, and you uploaded, and you want to, like once you upload like 10-15 projects, you need to search your data, right? Like you can search your data from the home screen. Like the first part of the slide shows the ID, title, description, keywords that you have entered during creation of the project. You have investigator. These are all the filters that you have, and searching options that you have from the project level. The same way you have subject level and different scan levels. And one good thing about XNAT is it has an advanced search option where you can perform searches, save searches as a report, and you can even interact the searches based on using scripts via APIs that we have. Talking about processing your data, we have great options like features on XNAT, which uses containers to process your data. You can create a container, and in this screenshot we have like list of jobs that you can do on the data that you have. You can even, I mean, the containers, the processing was previously called pipelines, and now they moved it to the processing is done on the containers. So you can process your data using either container type, or like if you still have an legacy XML pipelines, you can do it. You can still do it, and also you can use your scripts to interact with the data again with APIs. About the processing data, in the next part of the presentation, Farial will be explaining like how you can uh, create a container, how you can process the data, how you can store the processed data on XNAT. In her presentation, you'll be uh, seeing how you process the data without any third-party softwares, like which are based on Python or MATLAB, like etc. Once you have all this data uploaded and processed, we would love to share our data, right? Like we invite collaboration with other people, other members, and we have, once you create the project, you have an access tab where you can add or invite the user, or you can who is not registered on your XNAT instance. You can also add people from the list which is already registered. For example, if you see here, I added couple of users who can be as an owners. So if you see, we have different types of groups that you can have, like owners, um, members, and also collaborators. So you can manage the groups, you can manage the features that you can handle in this access tab. So you can share your data, and that could be raw data that you, I mean, that could be the raw data or the process data on the project. Whatever is there in your project, it will be visible for the people you share the data. And once you as I explained before, like once you think like the project is all done and it doesn't have any problems, you can also you want to share it to public. Yes, you can do it, the change the accessibility of the project to public, and it is available for everyone who registered on the XNAT. So this is about how you share your work with your collaborators. Once you share, after you process your data, you have an option to download the data. Like these are the steps how you can download the data. For example, in a project ID 1, I have imaging data which has like different sessions. Like we have different scan types. There are different types and different download options. Like as you can see on the screen, like you can go with the desktop client, you can download it in a zip file, etc. Like you have XML download as well, the download of metadata. So once, since we are saying like XNAT, it's extensible. You can do a lot. You can integrate a lot of softwares to work with it. So a small introduction about how you can extend the XNAT. You can extend the XNAT by basically by adding a plugin, right? XNAT provides, it has a marketplace. I have given the link on the slide. You can very well go and check the list of plugins that are useful for your instance. If you're an administrator, after you set up your XNAT instance, you can add the plugins. There is a very well documentation on the XNAT website how you can add the plugins to your XNAT instance. For example, if you see here, it's an administrator tab. I have listed the plugins that we added in this XNAT instance. We have containers plugin, basically used for adding containers for the processing. We have a OHIF Viewer plugin to basically view the data. but that is uploaded. So there are around, I guess, like around 25 plugins. You can check the documentation, read the documentation, see if it is useful for your XNAT instance. I'm talking about the administrator side. So you need to upload the plugins which are really useful for you. So this is how you extend the XNAT. Like you make the plugins, you can customize even the user interface of the XNAT. You can add extra pages if you really want to show extra information of from the subjects or whatever you wanna modify in the XNAT instance of yours, and it will be site wide. Like any user who uses like have this new uh, pages that you add in that. So we're talking about the XNAT integration, and I just mentioned you about the plugins. And OHIF Viewer is one of the plugin. XNAT supports the integration with open source imaging tool. This OHIF stands for Open Health Imaging Foundation. It's an DICOM based viewer. This is collaborated with. I mean, it's connected with XNAT um, to view the images. This is the website of the Open Health Image Foundation group, and you can see how the OHIF viewer works. Also, how XNAT is integrated with the Open OHIF viewer. So this is the user interface of OHIF viewer, and this is how you can view the images if you're registered. For people who are not registered and who are joining as a guest, they don't have the options to access the plugins. So once you have registered and if the project is shared to you, you can clearly view the images. And if you see here, you can view the image data, you can quality control the data, and also if you have enough rights and access, you can annotate the image data and share it to the members or collaborators. We'll see more about the OHIF viewer, how the images are viewed, and how XNAT enables to view the images in different axes. This slide have a is a screenshot of how you can see in a 3D view. You can, so this makes um, to like understand, and it increases the user friendliness of and make image navigation and exploration easier. So talking about data annotations and labels, which I mentioned a minute ago, it provides several data annotation features like drawing, making notes, and this allows user to annotate the data with scribbles, points, arrows, like all the options that you see. If you're familiar with any other image viewers, medical image viewers, this kind of options are pretty familiar to create the mask and measure. And the good thing is you can save it on your XNAT instance, and you can export all these masks and measurements and share it to your members or collaborators. Talking about collaboration and federation, we have a plugin called XSync plugin, which allows you to federate with other XNAT instances. Federation provides data harmonization across different XNAT instances by establishing common data standards and formats. This enables interoperability and facilitates the data integration across multiple sources. To make it short, you can synchronize the projects between two XNAT instances as like one project. That helps like data, that helps not to have a data redundancy. Like you have one project, it is synced between two instances, and the people who have access can upload and work in a harmony. Like you can work together on this kind of projects. So that is all about the XNAT and its core features. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thanks, Kranthi. Very clear introduction about the XNAT platform. Other questions for the audience? I replied to some of them in the chat, so of course feel free to write in the chat any questions that arise during the webinar. A very short one for you is not. I mean, people might be interested to know, let's say, difficult is to install XNAT instance, at least in a local desktop. I mean, if you provide some clue about if it's easy, it's difficult, how long it could take.
Excuse me, can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, I mean, people might be interested to know difficult or if it's difficult or not to install XNAT instance, at least in a local desktop.
Okay. I think can you see? Okay. To answer this question, like yeah, it is very easy if you know how Docker Compose works. XNAT provides a Docker Compose, and also there is a Vagrant, which is basically used to host on servers. And this is more about administrative side. Like if you want more information about how to install an XNAT, we would love to host one more webinar and explain how an administrator can install XNAT in local as well as on server. So we basically in our institution, we use Docker Compose to host XNAT on the server. And also Vagrant is available, but it will be slowly depreciated, I guess, if I'm not wrong. We are using Docker Compose, and it is really easy. You install the Docker Compose on your local PC just to get a like how XNAT installing XNAT feels. Like there is a documentation, also GitHub page, which I'll be sharing later, how to install XNAT in your local PC, and you get all the options similar to server, or also the local PC have all the features that you see on a web browser.
Okay, thanks, Kranthi.